Hey guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be discussing how best to deal with pressure. Whether you're at the front of the field or even in the mid-pack, there's going to be karts around you that want your position on the track. So they're going to be into the side of you, into the back of you, or trying to play games with you. So we're going to try and teach you guys some key lessons that how you can best prepare for your next upcoming race. Let's get stuck into it. So the first lesson I want to help you guys out with is don't get caught up with other people's noise. So what I mean by that is, if you're lining up on the grid or in the lead up to a race and you're getting that old mate behind you, bang, bang, bang into your bumper, they're just trying to play games with you. They're trying to get stuck into your head, trying to put you under pressure so that when you get into a race, you either let them by, which that's what they want, or that next time you go into a race and you're behind them, then you start to retaliate. And now all of a sudden they've got you in their head, which you don't want to do. So if you do feel a cart bang, bang, bang into your bumper, trying to get caught up in the emotion, yes, they are annoying. They're trying to put you off your game. But as soon as you start looking around, they start to know, you know what, I'm getting stuck in Dave's head, which is something you don't want to show any weaknesses of. So just try and take it all in your stride. Just try and basically, okay, bang, bang, okay. If you keep doing it, keep doing it. Maybe you want to brake check them a little bit, just let them know, hang on, mate, stop doing what you're doing. But try and get caught up in what they're doing to you. They're only trying to put you off, and they're trying to almost use it as a scare tactic so that you're going to try and let them pass a lot easier as well. Hold your ground, be confident in your ability. And the way I try and look at it is, if someone's trying to put me under pressure before a race, I'm trying to get in front of other karts that I can before they can actually get to me. So I know if there's a spot in front of me that opens up, bang, I've got to take it, because if I don't take it, then that old mate behind me who was tapping me, he's going to try and take my position as well. So use it to your advantage and try and think, well, if I can get my way past these 2 or 3 karts in front of me before they can, I'm never going to see that driver in a particular race. Now, the second pressure point that you might be receiving is from actually in the pits. So it could be from your parents, it could be from your mechanic, or it could be from some of your mates who are trying to almost, you've got to be winning this race, or you've got to be passing that competitor, and it can get you quite down. I know plenty of times I've copped it from my dad or my cousin James, like, come on, mate, come on, Dave, you can pull your finger out. You're not passing this guy at the end of the straight, or you're just playing follow the leader, and you start to doubt yourself. You start to get really down. You're like, far out, I know I can do better. Now, one of the things now when I'm coaching, I can see that kids are down. Like most of the time, they know their mistakes. So they come off the pits, they come into the pit lane, they may have known they didn't pass in the last lap, or they left the door open, a cart went past them, and so they're disappointed already in themselves. So there's no point in me then hammering that person, that kid, going, mate, what are you doing? You effed up this, and you stuffed up there, and you left the door open here, and all of a sudden, the weight on this kid's shoulders just bang and pushing this kid down. Confidence is dipping down. And next time they go and race, they're nervous to make mistakes straight away because they're going to cop it from their parents or myself or their, whoever it is, their friends, wherever it may be. So you don't need any of that extra pressure on you. So the way you want to try and get around that is by writing some notes down. So if you know yourself, I made some mistakes on the first lap. I should have just defended turn 2 because now I let 2 or 3 karts pass. So you write it down yourself. So next time you go and race, the chances are you're going to minimize a lot of those mistakes that you may have just made. Now all of a sudden, your mechanic, your parent, your friends aren't saying, oh, Dave, you just left that door open at turn 2. They're going to say, that was a good job. I remember last race you left the door open. And they're not even making those mistakes. So straight away, they're building the confidence back up. They're going, mate, that was a good job. Not like, oh, you did that wrong again. So just that small change of you writing some notes down and you improving on yourself and those little mistakes that you may have previously made, all of a sudden now, it's all flipped. There's confidence rather than weight on your shoulders, and you can drive a lot more freely, and that's going to help you out on the track. And our last point when it comes to dealing with pressure is, if you're the front go-kart and you're starting to having to look behind a lot. Now, if I'm the chasing driver, I can see straight away that driver in front of me is starting to get nervous. They're under pressure. They're trying as hard as they can, but they don't have any more speed to give. So if you start to give them a couple of love taps out of the corner, or you're starting to just peek your nose onto the straight, even if you can't quite pass, then they're starting to over-defend because they're like, far out, I've got no more pace to give. And this driver behind me is really, trying to get their nose in or trying to overtake me. So you start to try and force them into mistakes. Whether that means you're trying to make them over-defend, or by constantly looking over their shoulder, there's a lot more opportunities for them to make mistakes that you can then pounce on. If you're the lead driver, what we're trying to say is don't look behind too much, because straight away you're giving that driver behind you that sense of you're struggling or you don't have any more to give. So if you can feel a couple of love taps, rather than, they're there. there's no point in looking over your shoulder because there is someone tapping you from behind. They're literally on your bumper. So by looking over your shoulder, don't show, that's a weakness sign. So what we're trying to say is if you feel a couple love taps, just taking your stride, yes, they're there. Try and keep hitting your markers. Now, also try and use your senses around you. Even if you don't feel a couple of love taps, you can sometimes start to hear, or as you're turning an apex, you can start to just see in your peripheral vision the car behind you. So there's no need to look behind. And that's why if you start focusing on what's happening behind you, the chances are you're not going to be pushing that limit and hitting your marks constantly because you're more worried on what's happening behind you rather than what you can control, which is your particular driving. So try and focus on what you can, which is hitting your marks, hitting your apexes, getting the throttle nice and early where you can, brake as late as you can, using every square inch of the track wherever possible, rather than bang a love tap, look behind, bang a love tap, looking behind this way. You know they're there, don't show them any signs, and try and focus on your own ability. So that's it, guys, on how to best deal with pressure. Now, it's not easy. I've been on both sides of it. I've been trying to put other drivers under pressure, and I also copped a lot of pressure from 25 years of driving. And now, the further up the field that you get, it's the mindset and the mental edge that can get you always towards the point end rather than getting there once two races, it gets too hard, bang, I'm back into 5th or 6th. Try and creep back up there, bang, something else happens and I'm falling back down to 10th. It's having that strong mindset and that mental ability to take everything on board and learn from your mistakes. That's what we're saying. Write some notes down. If you do make mistakes, try and learn from them and use it almost as a positive. And don't get caught up in other people's noises and games. If they're tapping you in the bumper or they're constantly trying to put pressure on you, don't focus on what they're doing too much. Focus on your own ability, believe in yourself, and if you have put in the practice in the hard yards, the chances are you can do it, and you got to, like I said, believe in yourself that you can. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. If you've got any comments on how you best deal with pressure in your situation, then drop it so I can try and answer and help respond to you guys. Remember, click subscribe if you've enjoyed this episode. I'm your host, 18-time Australian champion David Serra. I look forward to chatting to you guys next time. Cheers.